Hello and welcome to another edition of the Josh Hose Show. I'm your host, Alyssa Jakubik, and with me is the head coach of the Massillon Tigers, Josh Hose. We want to once again thank you, our season-long sponsor, Reliable Heating and Cooling. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Alyssa.
Coach, your Tigers won their first tournament game this past Saturday, defeating Warren Harding 64-63 in the Tiger game. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
What does a win like that mean to you personally and for the program itself?
A win like that for the program is huge. To get the districts is always a big goal of ours every year. It's not as easy as people may think. I know Coach Ridgely and I talk about it with baseball too. Getting to the districts every year is a tough thing. So for our program, it's the second time we've been there in the 6 years I've been here, and it's a big step forward to with a young team, to go ahead and get to that district round. Which now you look at it as, like I was telling our coaches the other day, we're 4 wins away from the Final Four. It just kind of puts you in that spot to really make a run. As far as the win itself, I mean, how awesome it was to see a game of runs, being down 11-0 to start the game, to go up 20. To see that lead dwindle down, to them taking the lead, and then our guys bouncing back to take the lead back. Xavier coming on here, made the go-ahead basket to put us up 2 or up 1, and then this is the way the game of basketball is. The guy misses a spot open shot at the end of the game. He hit a shot before the foul, before the first timeout was called, so that was wiped out, and then he misses a wide open shot that he just made a really good move and beat one of our guys. And I don't know why it didn't go in, but we'll take it. So, for our kids, I was really excited. It was a relief for us coaches because, that thing is hanging on the rim and you're waiting for it to fall in. But they were just excited, and they really came together and played a really, really fun game, really tough game as a team. And a lot of guys contributed to the win. You talk about Chris Knight and Jadis Thigpen, 2 guys that averaged 33 combined points, combined for 7 points. And if you told me that before the game, I'm thinking there's probably not much chance that we're going to have much success because we've relied on them so much throughout the season. And then Xavier and T. Keys go out and get 19 each. Jadis Gio goes out and has a big game. I think he had 10 points. And so it's just fun to see some of these young guys step up and fill some roles and pick up the slack for guys that were struggling or guys that had foul trouble. Your
Tigers beat Warren Harding early in the season. Was this game anything like that first matchup?
First matchup, I told somebody, I said, it felt like it was a year and a half ago. The season's so long. We got down against them early, not as deep as we were this time, but we came back and we never took a big lead against them, but we extended at the end and then it went by 11, so it was much less drama at the end. But the intensity was there the whole time, and I went back and watched that film before we played them this time. It definitely was a very contested back and forth game. Just a lot of really quality athletes on the court. A lot of kids making some big plays. I think tournament time everybody plays a little differently. Everybody plays a little tighter. So that was interesting to see how that dynamic changed. But both games just really. As a fan, it would be fun to watch both games. As a coach, they're stressful. The players are probably just out there playing, but it definitely was a really good matchup for us both ways. There's a reason they picked. So when we went into the seeding, Barberton picked their spot first. We picked ours next, and then Warren jumped in against Barberton. So our bracket, I looked at them like we kind of all match up similar, and I think that's why we ended up where we were at, and opposite Barberton. And I think that's why Warren picked where they were going to go in because they knew they could match up with both of us teams. So I knew it was going to be a really, really good matchup because we have similar attributes and similar characteristics on our teams. So it made for a good matchup, a really exciting game.
Can you share with us what you said to the team after the game?
Yeah, sure. We talk in the locker room afterwards, and I know the kids are ready to go. So we, as coaches, I think sometimes those talks are more about us getting our feelings out and our emotions out. Just told, again, being proud of them. Kind of similar thing we said, guys stepping up, with key guys struggling with fouls and not being able to play a lot and shots not falling for Chris and Jadis. It was really fun to see the other guys. That's a team. That definition of a team is being able to have other people step up in those moments. And so, was really excited for the team that way, for young guys to respond. And we kind of shared that, you hear it all the time in NCAAs, and it's so true. I think the first win is the hardest one in the tournament, and you get that first one out of the way. They already had a tournament game, so we took the bye. So there's a little stress there, and then you have a long practice week, because you're waiting to see. In the first couple of days of practice, we don't know who we're playing, so we're just kind of idly practicing on some things. But this time of year, it's really about fine tuning the stuff that you already do, and then you kind of adjust it to who you're playing. So, but yeah, we were just elated for the kids and just really happy for them to have the opportunity to win a tournament game at home and finish out our home games with our seniors and all that stuff. I think we ended up 9-3 at home, or 9-2 at home, which is a really good record to have.
The Tigers finished with an impressive 9-3 record at home this season. Is having a dominant home record something you're striving for this year?
Absolutely. I think when I played for Coach Creamer back in the day, one of our team goals he had for us was to go undefeated at home. And so I think that's always kind of stuck with me, is like, that's really important, because if you win all your home games, you're getting at least half your wins. Now, we didn't win them all, but we were in every game. And that's why, again, getting a home game for the tournament was really important for us. So when Barberton got upset and we had a chance to play Harding at home, I was excited because of the fact that we play well at home. I think our 2 or 3, I think it was the 2 losses. There may be a misprint on that. I got to check, but it was McKinley and Hoover. And I mean, those were really close games down the stretch. So we felt comfortable being at home, and we thought we could do well. So yeah, we like being at home. We've had some good crowds this year. Our kids have performed well. It's just easier. You don't have to get on the bus. You don't have to go somewhere, different confines, different locker rooms, etc. Just a little bit easier to be at home, I guess, and our kids tend to thrive here.
In a moment, we'll meet a Tiger player. But first, this word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Everything that goes into a Lennox system is engineered for absolute comfort. Like the parts that create your perfect temperature and humidity, or the parts that purify the air. Together, all these parts save you up to half off your heating and cooling bills. And there are few things more comforting than that.
The future of home comfort is here now at Reliable Heating and Cooling. Get the latest innovation and technology at Reliable. Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Thanks to Reliable Heating and Cooling. And welcome back to the Josh Host Show. Our Tiger player joining us this week is freshman guard Xavier Williams. Xavier, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So Xavier, how old were you when you first learned the game? And do you remember who taught it to you?
I was about 4. My dad, he taught me. We used to go to like the YMCA and play outside. He used to rebound for me, and that's when he taught me.
In what areas of your game did you work on the most since the end of the last season?
Well, I really had 2 seasons off, so I really practiced, did AAU. I focused on shooting, ball handling, finishing, all of it. I was in the weight room, just trying to get my game better.
As a freshman, you've played a lot of minutes for the varsity. What did the coaches tell you before the start of the season, and what about your role might be on this team?
They told me that I was going to be an upcoming good guard for the team. I remember Coach West told me that I was going to be a guy, a dude, really good. My dad used to tell me that I was really good, so it gave me confidence to think I was really good. Coach O's, he would just be hard on me, tell me that I'm going to be good when I grow.
What are some things you like most about being on the Tiger team?
The bond for us, it's like a family. I just love the team, love what we do. We hang out sometimes, we go at each other hard in practice.
Do you have a nickname?
Yeah.
What is it and who gave it to you?
X, my nickname. We used, when I was in 6th grade, my travel team, we just had a whole bunch of kids, and my coach, EB, gave me that nickname.
And finally, what has been a personal or team highlight this season that stands out to you?
Maybe when we went to Indiana and we stayed in the hotel together, another team bond. We hung out, played at the Hoosier gym, put 100 on the team, it was pretty nice.
Thanks for joining us, Xavier.
Yep.
Coach Hose will rejoin the show when we return after this timeout.
Hello, and welcome to the Stark County Humane Society. Today we're going to give you a few pointers when considering adopting a new furry friend. All animals here at the Stark County Humane Society are spayed, neutered, microchipped, vaccinated, dewormed, and if old enough, heartworm tested for our canine friends. Adopters will receive a free exam within 2 weeks of adoption at local veterinarian hospitals. We encourage all adopters to take full advantage of this. A one-time adoption fee is required for your new furry friend. When you adopt, you get an awesome adoption packet that includes treats for your new fur baby and savings for you. But this is not where the cost of adoption stops. Did you know the average cost of an animal like a new puppy or kitten can cost up to $500 annually? This includes annual veterinarian visits, preventative care, and everyday supplies like crate, litter, food, toys. But I hope this doesn't scare you away. Adopting an animal is a huge responsibility and a commitment. Please take the time to consider the cost of adopting a new pet into your family today. I hope to see you soon at the Stark County Humane Society. Please visit our website or visit us on social media for more information.
Welcome back to the Josh Hose Show. Coach, we just spoke with freshman guard Xavier Williams in our last segment. Before the start of the season, what were your expectations for Xavier? And in what ways have you thought he might contribute to the varsity team?
Well, Xavier's a kid we've been around. His dad coaching with us. We've been around him a few years, so we've known him. He's been in open gyms with us. He's been in a lot of practices. Just tag along with Dad the last couple of years. So he's not a typical freshman. Like, he wasn't a kid that you thought like, oh, he's got to learn all this other stuff. He's played a lot of summer league stuff with us, and I have to remember that sometimes. I tell him, I say, I got to remember you're a freshman, because I get on him and I push him and I hold him to a higher standard than I have in the past, maybe for some kids, because I just feel like he's not a freshman because he's been around so much. And so coming into the season, to answer your question, I thought he could really help us. I knew he could contribute really well because he's a solid defender, a really good ball handler. He can shoot it well. He can finish. I think he struggled with consistency this year, like most young guys do, and that's typical. But the season he's having is way beyond probably what I expected. I don't know, for him or anybody else, but I just think he's had some really big games for us. And I mean, to step up in big moments like he has been really fun to see. And I think the kid himself, he's just a really humble, quiet, hardworking kid. He definitely loves the game. He works at it constantly. He has a great desire to be really something special in this program and in his career at Massillon. And I'm excited to see what that holds for him, because he's off to such a great start as a young guy. And then off the court, he's a great kid too. And the type of kids we want in our program that they represent you well on and off the court. And Xavier definitely is a kid we're excited to have for a couple more years in the program.
Your Tigers have advanced to the district tournament and will face Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary. Tell us where and when you take on the Irish.
So we played them on Thursday, the 7th, at 7 o'clock up at Lakewood High School. So with the district seedings, and I've had several people ask me, why are you guys playing at Lakewood? Because you got Massillon, you got Akron, you got Lakewood on the map there. But it's when they set us out, it used to be you'd have a district with just like 12 teams, and it was all like local teams. So we'd play in Canton, and proximity-wise, it made sense. Then they went to a super district, so it was 3 districts, and then you had spots. Now they went this year to I call it a mega district. It's six different districts. So you went from 1 to 6, and you got 76 teams now instead of like 12. So we were the 23rd seed out of 76 teams. And then as you go through, teams, the top seeds pick, and the spots start filling up. And I'll be honest with you, we didn't really look at location. We just looked at opponent. You start looking at who gives you your best option to get out to that next round. And so I didn't know really until like last week, I started looking like, okay, if we win, where do we go? And that's when I realized it was Lakewood. But, I mean, at this point, I think most coaches agree they'd drive anywhere, in the state of Ohio if you have a chance to win a tournament game and move on. And so Lakewood it is. It's a really nice gym. I've never been in it, but I've seen it on film. And, I mean, it's a great opportunity against a really historically strong opponent and with a great name, and our kids are excited to play them.
Have you or your coaches had a chance to scout St. Vincent, St. Mary's at all?
Yeah, so we have some film. Tournament time, you start grabbing film a little bit in advance of teams you think you might play or you could possibly run into. So we had film on them in North Royalton because they played opposite us on Saturday. And whoever won that game, we knew we were going to play. And Coach Smitty started looking at some of their film, kind of prospecting like if we play them. So we started looking at them. I talked to a couple coaches yesterday that have played them. Got some input. We're diving into it a little deeper. Our coaches are all in right now, watching the film. Each one of them's taking one film and breaking it down, so we can get ready. But they're an opponent that. I think the name itself gets you ready to go because they've had such success, and Coach Joyce has done such a great job up there. Obviously, a name like LeBron James and your alumni helps, with that name development. But they're very big. They're talented. Their record's 500, but they played a really good schedule, so that's misleading. So we throw that record out the door. And I think we can match up with them, but I think they're going to present some matchup issues with their height. We've had to struggle with that all year, so our guys are used to it. And somebody asked me the other day, I said, "There's not been too many games we've gone into and been the biggest team out in the court. Usually we're the smaller team, and this week will be no different."
Do the Irish compare to anyone you've already faced this season?
Good question. I mean, I think when you look at them, size-wise, maybe that Lindsley prep team we played in the Classic, they had a lot of size. McKinley with their length, maybe not the height, but the length they have and the athleticism. Warren's size presented some issues. We really struggled on the boards with them at times. So some teams like that have the size and the athleticism. Louisville. Like Louisville's got a lot of size. They play a little differently than them, but definitely matchup-wise, we're gonna have to kind of look at some of those things and see how we can, neutralize some of their height advantage and use some of our guards, a little differently than to match up with them. So, we've seen a lot of different styles with 22 games, 23 games as an independent. You play a lot of different teams from a lot of different backgrounds, and so I think we've seen it all as far as like style of play and makeup of team. So that's the one positive of being independent. You get really prepared to play multiple opponents. But definitely the Irish, definitely remind us of some teams that we've played before.
All right, thanks, Coach.
You're
and
welcome.
Good luck in this Thursday's tournament game at Lakewood High School.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
That will do it for this edition of the Josh Hose Show. We want to thank our season-long sponsor, Reliable Heating and Cooling. Thanks again to Coach Hose and freshman guard Xavier Williams for joining us on this show. I'm your host, Alyssa Jakubic. Thanks for watching, and always go Tigers.